Recently, I ran into a problem what is called topological naming issue. I ran into this problem in the past, but it never caught my attention enough. So I thought, oh, that's maybe a fluke or like a glitch, and I ignored it. Um, and then I was using part design for one of my practice series, practice 31. And then I ran into this issue and it triggered me. So like, what's going on? Why would this happen? And then I did some quick Google research, and then this thing came up. Apparently, this is a long known issue for FreeCAD, where this problem has been happening, and they are working towards solving it, but have not been able to address it completely. Even with this newly released 0.21 version, it still has this problem. So what I'm going to do today is explore different ideas and see actually what's going on. It's easy to recreate that issue, and then I found a page, a Wikipedia page, where it says what to do and what not to do. So we will go through them one by one. So this video is about what is topological issue, how this issue affects people like me who are the beginner in this FreeCAD practices, and then we will see when it triggers, and there are the best practices recommended by the community. We will go through them one by one. So I'm trying to recreate that issue in part. As you can see, I built a pretty small rectangle, and then I want to pad it by 25. Say I want to build something on top of this body. So what I do is I click on this. Apparently this is face 6, but we'll make sure what's the name of this face later on. But I click on this and I hit the draw sketch and I draw the sketch. Say I draw the sketch here. I don't want to spend too much about restricting dimension stuff like that, but so because nevertheless it's about the shape, not the dimension. Say this was my one object, and then I'm building another one on top of it, so it's dependent. This sketch is dependent on this. As you can see on the map mode on this sketch, it says map mode flat face 6. So this face is 6. This is 3, as you can see here. This is, oh, that's 3 too. No, that's 2. And this is 6. On 6, this is sketch is built. Select this sketch. I want to build it up by say 25. At this point of my progress, I remembered, oh, there should be a hole in the middle of this body. I can address that by two ways. I can do a cylinder and then make a cut, or I can update this sketch, the original sketch, to draw a circle in the middle where it's supposed to be. For example, say this is supposed to be 10 millimeter away from this side and 30 millimeter away from the other side. So, and then this is supposed to be diameter, say 7.5. And so I updated this sketch. That messed up my whole thing. So previously, both of these objects were on top of this. So we were in the top view. They were on top of this face. Now that I updated this sketch to include the hole in there, it just flipped. It just flipped the table set. This is called topological naming issue. So the naming part comes from the name of the face. Previously, if you remember, this was supposed to be face 6. Now this is not 6 anymore. apparently this is 7. So since I created something in the meantime, the software, the FreeCAD, whatever inside it is, they changed the name of this phase. So they changed the name of the game. And since it is not phase 6 anymore, and this sketch, which was supposed to be on phase 6, now there is a new phase 6, and then this sketch is on that phase, which is a big issue. Like, this is only small problem, so we can see, but if it was a big problem and then I wanted to go back and update one of my sketches to such an extent that it would create a new face in the tree, the name of the faces changes, and then that messed up everything. And that's why the name, I guess, supposedly, the issue is named as topological naming issue. And I was thinking, why name these faces by numerical order? Say I name this face a random alphanumerical random thing that would not change over the time. So if this phase has a name, it's, there is no changing that name whenever, towards, like, anytime I come back and then do something on that, the name would not be changed. Why not keep that name consistent throughout the journey of the model? That looks like, as a beginner and not a programmer, that's the biggest issue, that nobody can fix it. Like, why name these faces by numerical order? Why the order is so much important? Why not naming these faces with something else, like, 20 digit random alphanumerical uh, value, and then keep it straight, keep it fixed throughout the entire process? That would not cause this problem. But hey, I'm not a software engineer, so I don't know how things work. uh, what I can do, so the community suggests that I'll have to remap this sketch, and I'm supposed to come here. So it says plane extrude face 6. I can select this and then select on the original face that is supposed to be, and refresh it. So there it is. Now that it's not on phase 6 anymore, it's the new phase 7, I can see my work came back to life again. So this is the naming issue. It happens the same in the part design. So let's give it a try, see if I can recreate this whole thing in part design. In part design, let's create a body, which is integral part of part design. I have to create a body, and then I want to draw a sketch. So here we are at the stage where I want to go back and update my original pad to add something else. Go back to the sketch. I draw that hole and come back to see there is some issue with this pad that I drew on that face. And it says it cannot calculate anymore. It says result has multiple solids that is not currently supported. Apparently, the thing that I did here, this part messed up the object, and now it's not there. It's not calculating good. So I cannot update this 25 to 35. It won't work. So the parametric part is lost. In the previous one here, this face was changed to the new one, so that was messed up in one way. On this one, it's just saying it's messed up, it's not going anywhere. It shows where it is now, but it's not recalculating, or it's not recomputing the object. What we can do is, again, we can go to the map mode and then select the face, and now it is phase 6, phase 7, excuse me. So the phase 6 becomes phase 7, and now hitting refresh, it's working. So that's the issue. That's the topological issue and how to solve it. Imagine we are doing 1, 2, 3 level of dependency. So this was one level of dependency. If I did something else on top of these, and they could have been affected as well. And then this become an issue. So the Wikipedia page on FreeCAD community also suggested to use datum plane to avoid this issue. So let's go ahead and then see if we can use the datum plane and how we can avoid this topological naming issue. As far as I remember, the datum plane issue says we can, so we create the pad, say 25. Now we want to draw something on this top. The best practices recommendation is not to click on this face and draw it directly on this face. Rather, create a datum plane from here, create a datum plane at the same elevation of this face and draw everything from that plane. To do that, so I'm following the recommendation. Hide this pad, bring this origin back. So this is the origin of that body. And we want to draw a datum plane on this XY plane. So select that XY plane and draw a datum plane. And on this plane it says XY plane datum. And hit OK. On this datum plane, now we can bring back our pad and then see the pad was 25 millimeter towards z-axis, towards the positive z-axis. We want to take this datum plane at this elevation, so that would be 25 millimeter from where it is now. So select the plane, and on the attachment, on the position, it would be 25. I can hide this origin now. So what we have is a datum plane on top of the pad at the same level. Now the best practices recommendation is to select the datum plane, which is at the plane level that we intended to draw something, and draw the sketch on top of it. Now we can draw things here. Now I can pad this one for 25, and supposedly we are supposed to go back. So I remember that there was supposed to be a hole on this original body. So now we can go back and update the sketch to have a hole. See, this way, let me hide this datum plane. This way, if I use the datum plane, the hole is there, the objects are there, everything's are in place, so no issue. That's the best practices recommendation that come from the community, which is working. So it says, which is at like, a little bit more work, but it makes the model stable. I accept this like pretty good workaround for smaller projects, but if there are like, multiple steps to build a model dependency, and how many datum planes am I gonna make? That's a trouble. Um, that definitely impacts the idea of parametric design. So topological naming issue is directly harming the reputation of this FreeCAD amazing software. I want to try something else. So we were supposed to have a full parametric model, which means I should be able to change this height at any point of my work, and the model should be same, would be okay. So let's go back, and now I'm thinking maybe my height to this pad should be 20. If I do that, so this pad is not calculating again. It's not working. So this pad, let's make it 25. Now it's working. So this issue is there. This 25. So it's taking a higher level. It's taking a higher value. Say if it is, the original it was 25. Everything looks fine. If I make it 30, it's working. If I make it a lower value than original, it's not taking anymore. It's not recalculating everything. But the datum plane, we did not attach that to this face. It was a height from the base. What's going on is between this face and this face, a lower value, it's not moving. So again, the full capability of this parametric feature, we are not getting that only because of this topological naming issue. What I want to try is actually a more workaround, see if it works. So we will be using spreadsheet to make a workaround. Let's create a new object. Let's go ahead and build a new spreadsheet. I'm going to say, I am going to rename that as X. Okay. And I'm going to say pad height will be 25. So that's our only value on that spreadsheet. Let's go ahead in the part design and create a body, create a sketch on the XY plane. For this one to build a pad, I want to use the spreadsheet formula. So it will be X dot, was it pad height. So I embedded this value in the pad height. The next step is to build a datum plane. So we bring this origin back, hide this pad on this XY plane. I want to build a datum plane. On the Z direction, this would be X dot pad height. So we are offsetting this value to the Z direction already, and there it is. There is my datum plane at the top of this pad height. And on this datum plane, the offset, which we're supposed to give, and this pad height, both of them are coming from the same source. And now I want to do the rest of the work. So draw something here, something else there. I want to build it up, say 26. And now I want to go back to this pad and make that whole. So we get our parametric model because of this datum plane. The addition of these faces did not affect our dependent objects. Now let's try our parametric capacity. So I want to change this height of this pad. Since I included that in our spreadsheet, I want to go spreadsheet and then make it say a higher value, 30. Oh, this is working fine. Now it is 30. This height is 30 and this is moved 5 up. How about I go a lower value than the original? It worked fine. So what this workaround does is actually changing these values and changing this pad height changes both the datum plane offset and the pad height at the same time. So there is no discontinuation of between these two objects. This discontinuation would not happen if it was in part workbench, but again that would add another layer of more work. We'd have to go individually change everything. I find this is the only workaround that gives us the full parametric capability of FreeCAD, which is a bit more work, but it gives the 100% workability around this model. I hope in near future this topological naming issue would be resolved so we won't have to do this workaround. But now I know better how to build a stable model in FreeCAD using the datum planes. And one more thing to note for freebie or newbies like me in the community, this datum plane is only available in part design. I wish it was available in part workbench too, so I wouldn't have to come in part design because my personal preference is to use part workbench. But there are few things in part design that's like polar pattern or linear pattern and datum plane, subshape binder. These are the things that are not available in part, which I wish were available in part workbench too. Uh, Maybe I know less, that's why I'm praying for more. Hopefully, somebody will listen, one of the developers, and then works towards it. But my recommendation is see if you can name this face by some other than numerical sequence, or like keep the sequence, but it doesn't have to be like sequence. So don't change the name of the face. If any of the developers listening to me, please see if you can break the sequence and keep the name fixed. That would save a lot of clicks on this model building. I hope you enjoyed this video. It gave some answers to the new people in the community. If I can gather some more knowledge on this, I will update them in a later video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later. Bye.